we'll have we'll say grace over our meal, and we'll kind of disperse row at a time, and once that last table comes through, shortly after that, we'll start the handing out the awards. But Harlan, if you would.
Our Heavenly Father, we give Thee thanks for this day and for this opportunity to gather here to honor these young people, their exploits, and for being good citizens in their communities. We thank Thee for the opportunity to gather here today and to be here safely, and we ask a special blessing at this time for Rosie Airy, recovering from a stroke. We ask Thee for a blessing on the hands that have prepared the meal for us this evening, and we express great gratitude in this special season to be able to give thanks and be grateful for all that we have, and that includes the meal that we're about to enjoy. We say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Okay, I'm waiting for Clancy to give me the sign that we're ready to go, but I haven't got the sign yet. Okay. That's the sign? Okay. Okay, well, that's a good point. For a lot of you who are here, many of you are here for the first time. This is the 10th year we've done this, but it's pretty much a new crop every year. And you say, well, why are we here? Well, you're here because there are two athletes. We have 10 schools here, I believe. We have two athletes from both volleyball and football who their coaches have chosen to honor here tonight. A lot of cases, there are going to be some of the best players on each team. On the other hand, it's not necessarily about that as much as it is the whole package. A lot of these kids have played ball since they were big enough to pick one up. And they're getting ready to move on to different phases of their lives. And this gives us an opportunity, number one, to say congratulations on a wonderful high school career and the best of luck to you as you move forward from here. And it's also a chance for us to say thanks to these area schools who have been so great that we work with every year. We cover a lot of sports at Ozark Marketing Company. In the course of a year, we'll have between 350 and 400 sporting events covering our 5 radio stations. So we just want to use this opportunity as a way to say thank you, and we hope that you're going to enjoy the evening. The other question you may have is, how long is this going to take? Not that long, actually. In fact, probably eating will take as much time as the rest of it. So thank you all so much for coming. We really appreciate it. Thanks from Ozark Marketing Company, Taylor Gruvall Chevrolet, and all of our sponsors, and be sure to check your program concerning that here as the evening goes by. All right, I have not been instructed as to how we should do this, but let's just do it like we did last year. We'll go to the back row and go out. Is that okay with you, Clancy? The rest of it. Do that again. Thank you all so much. We really going that way. Thanks from Ozark Marketing Company. Okay. All right. So if you're on that side of the room and your table is lined up on the back, go ahead and head on out. Yeah, they didn't care. They didn't care at all. Let me say one other thing. When we start giving the awards out, and I'll mention it again, but when we give the awards out, we will ask you, after you get your award and you're done, to go out into the lobby. You saw that big hanging thing out there in the lobby by the water fountains. We're going to take pictures of everybody out there with their awards when we're all. Okay? Yeah, you can photobomb them. One other thing. Okay, so I didn't mean to make y'all stop mentioning it. When we get the awards out, we will ask you, after you get your award, to go out into the lobby. You saw that big hanging thing out there in the lobby. We're going to take pictures of everybody out there.
Smith and Allison Tanner. Y'all come up. Okay, I want to recognize them. They are the players that every team wants to have. They are the team leaders, the hype person, and they just keep everybody motivated in line. So we've been blessed with them for 6 years. They're both six position players, and so they do bring stats with them. Allie Smith, she's our team captain. She's been amazing at serving. Her serving percentage is 95.24%. She has 72 aces, 234 assists. She's also our setter. She's very well poised, and I mean, she's the one. She's actually voted. We had our team did voting, and they said, "Hey, when we're serving, this is the person you want on line." And it was, I mean, it's unanimous. It was Allie that they want there. Next is Allison Tanner, and Allison Tanner, she's the epitome of resilience, hard work. She's that leader that, by example, that everybody's watching her and she's there and taking charge. She comes in, she made it big on the back row. She had 425 digs, crucial moments and everything else, and she was there and she was ready to take charge. Game changing in a lot of aspects. Both of them, their value, of course, goes well beyond the stats that they had. You can't put a value on a team leader, because you know most teams are looking for that team leader to finally take charge. They took that charge, and just keeping their chins up, keeping the game motivated, and that's more their value than anything else. So anyways, we went on with the contribution. We went 15-4 this season. We were conference and district runners up, made it to regionals this year. So they did a lot of hard work, and I'd like to recognize them. So please give them a round of applause.
All right, well, this next group here coming up, Coach Justin Watson. Now, how many of y'all follow this around here? They are going to play for a state championship next Saturday. I mean, you know, that's a great thing, a great feeling. But his two players, Skylar Payne and Caleb Lysering.
First off, I'd like to start by thanking y'all for having this and allowing us to recognize our kids and athletes put in a lot of time to this. And then I'd also like to thank all the parents, Salem parents, and all you other parents also for the time you invest in your kids, getting your kids to the gym, from the gym to the weight room, and so on, dragging them around all summer. We really appreciate that as coaches. And there's a reason your kids are here, and that's because of your dedication to them. So I'd like to recognize my two guys. I'll start with Caleb Lysering over there. Caleb is, both these guys are seniors. Caleb has been a leader for us offensively and defensively. He's moved positions throughout the season due to injuries that we occurred. He's moved from safety to outside linebacker. I know you're looking at him like, 130-pound outside linebacker with jeans, boots, toboggan on because his hair is red with polka dots. That's why my hair looks like this, by the way. I sort of had to do it. But anyway, so, you know, he's been a leader for us. He's been, you know, very willing to move positions. He's had to play running back some games. He's a slot receiver, running back type kid. He's rushed for 800 yards this year. He's got 11 offensive touchdowns, 47 tackles on defense, and he's recovered 5 fumbles, and he's gotten 1 interception. He's just an outstanding kid. He's a kid that you know will always be there for practice. He's always going to do what you ask him to do. He's not going to argue with it. He may not like what you say, but he's going to deal with it and move on and try and get the job done. So I can't say enough about what Caleb means to our team with his attitude and the go-getter effort that's always there. Next up, Skylar Payne. Skylar Payne's our middle linebacker. Maybe a D lineman this week on occasion. And our fullback, he was a quick guard for us at the beginning of the season for about the first half of the season. Due to injuries, once again, We lost our first 3 fullbacks to injuries, so they're not at fullback anymore. Skylar moved from quick guard to fullback, and it's really allowed us to make the run that we've made. He does a great job leading up on the linebackers, and he's somebody you don't want hitting your linebackers. He's rushed for 365 yards, 6 touchdowns. But defensively, he's invaluable. He calls our defense basically out there. He gets guys lined up that don't listen as well as him. And so this season, he's made 113 tackles. He's got 11 tackles for loss and 9 sacks. And like I said, his work ethic and mentality out there is something that we have to make the run we've made. These guys will get postseason honors, I'm sure. We can't really reveal those yet because we're still playing. But these guys will be definitely on the list getting some postseason honors. So if you can give these 2 guys a round of applause.
Okay, let's move on along, and unfortunately, Jill Davis couldn't be here tonight. She said that they weren't going to be here from Mountain Home for volleyball. Is anybody here representing the volleyball team? Because she said they probably wouldn't make. Okay. Jill Davis is the coach. Mountain Home has been a part of this each year that we've had it. And Addison Martz and Aspen Vostotech will be the recipients of the plaques for Mountain Home volleyball. I should mention here off the top, volleyball in North Arkansas has been fantastic this year. You take Highland-Salem and Mountain Home, those 3 schools combined for 45 wins this year. That is fantastic. What a great year for all 3. Well, let's honor now let's move over to Mountain Home football. As mentioned earlier, Coach Steve Airy couldn't be here tonight, but Kyle Stevens will fill in for him. And our awards for Mountain Home football go to Jacob Chenoweth and also Dawson Dunlap. Let's have a big hand for them.
My name is Kyle Stevens. Coach Steve Airy wanted me to thank everybody for coming out tonight. He couldn't be here. He is with family. But as Coach Airy did, he has some great quotes he wanted me to say. First, we'll talk about Dawson. So Dawson, this guy is so good. He can defend the read game all by himself. He's a phenomenal athlete. He shuts down one side of the entire offense, basically. His stats are 95 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. Flies around, does a lot of good things on the defensive side of the ball. Then we will move on to Jacob Chenoweth. Let's see what Coach had to say about him. Great. He said, Jacob, we rode that dude like a rented mule. He is a top 3 finalist for the 6A, 7A Offensive Player of the Year. That's going on next week. And now for his stats, he had 303 rushes, 1,856 yards, 27 rushing TDs, 1 receiving TD on 17 catches. All of those are pretty much records in Mountain Home. So he has the most rushing yards in a single season. He has the most career rushing touchdowns, most single season rushing touchdowns, and most rushing yards in a game against Siloam Springs. He had 292. So he also topped that off with 60 tackles and 5 interceptions. So give a round of applause for those guys.
Well, we're just going to move over to the Highland Rebels. And the volleyball coach, JoBeth Webb, and her 2 players, Jill Wessling and Josie Sprinkle.
my 7th year to come, so thank you, Harlan, for including Highland. This is always such a nice activity and such a good kind of wraps the season up in a bow. I'm sure some of you know, maybe not everyone in the room, but our school and team suffered a pretty devastating loss early on in the season. We lost one of our players in a car wreck, and one of my fellow coaches at the school told me, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never lost a player. And he told me, Coach, it's not about wins and losses at this point. It's about surviving. You just put your arms around those kids and you survive. And that's what we did. And the reason I chose Jill and Josie, most of the people in the room are probably seniors. Josie's a junior. I think these two kind of epitomize what Brooklyn stood for, and what we have been preaching at our school was to be kind and kindness above everything. And what I think is so great about these two is they decided this summer they were going to make themselves better, and they went to the Lion College camp, and they went to the Razorback camp, and we had the coach from Arkansas State come and do private lessons with us, and it's amazing the growth that they've shown. And what makes it even better is they competed for the same position. But what's great about it is you've got Jilly, who's Miss Cosmetology and nails, and Josie with her belt buckle for her heifer. So the fact that these two forged such a strong friendship and bond through volleyball speaks to me as a coach, to my coaching heart and my mother heart. And I love these two kids. My husband couldn't be here, but he would tell you, and Coach Sowers can vouch for it, they're two of his favorites, and he's not afraid to show it. But they're great, and we as a school, as a program, we made it to regionals, and so we've taken a step every year to better the program in the right direction, and these two are a huge part of it. Jill is going to leave a huge hole in the court with her leadership and her mouth. But Josie is right there to take up where she left off. So I'm just super proud of them, and I just would love to say on behalf of Highland, be kind and don't take anything for granted. Look up and live like Brookie. We love her, and I'm proud of them, and this is a season I'll never forget for all the wrong reasons and all the right ones. So thanks to these kids. So please give them a round of applause.
Highland Rebel football. Had a fantastic year. Got things really rolling, and head coach Sterling Stowers, along with his two players, Keegan Statler and Zach Huckabee. First off, thank you guys for having us again this year. Real quick, I know we're only about 20 miles from Salem. We know everybody over there. So good luck to you guys this weekend. We will be rooting for you guys. Not a fan of Coach Watson's haircut, but I'm telling you, I'd probably do the same thing too. Before I get into these guys, I know he's not here, unfortunately, and I know he'll see this, but the Highland community wants to thank Coach Airy and the Mountain Home Bombers. Just a real quick, brief story that Coach Webb touched on. We lost a student manager earlier this year to a car accident, and we weren't able to play a game that night, obviously. It's bigger than football, bigger than volleyball. But the next week happened to be our bye week. And head coaches, I don't know if you are or not, I'm not a fan of bye weeks. So we were going to go 3 weeks without playing a game. So that weekend, we got together as a team, and we needed to try to find a game somewhere. Well, finding a Friday night game on a Saturday, not going to happen. So we reached out to Coach Airy, and he was able to throw together a JV game on Tuesday night. And when we got over there, the community that was there, the kids that were there, he met us in our locker room and just wanted to talk to our kids, and he was awesome. The staff was awesome. The community was awesome for the short time that we were able to throw that together. So we're very grateful for Coach Airy and the Mountain Home staff. So thank you guys very much. I've got Zach Huckabee here and Keegan Statler. I'm going to touch on Keegan real quick. Keegan is a two-time All-State running back, linebacker for us, 3-year starter at running back and linebacker. Won't get into stats. There's just too many to get into there, but Keegan is the type of guy that
Doesn't matter where he's at on the field, there's not a lot of coaching for him. Just tell him what to do one time and move on with it. There's 10 other guys out there, so he's one less that we have to worry about. He's actually our defensive coach on the field. He's a great guy. He's one of the best kids up in the hallway. He's a great athlete second, and we're hoping that he goes on to play college football next year. So he'll be missed in our program 7 through 12. They're both program guys. When I got hired 2 years ago, when we weren't having very much success, they came in and they were with us through the rough times, and they've been with us through our more successful years the last 2 years. So I'm very grateful for them. And before I move on to Zach, Keegan is one of, like I said, one of the best kids that I've been around in a short career. So he will be deeply missed. Now Zach, I know a lot of people don't know this, and the Salem guys probably do, but you coaches that coach your own kids, okay, I've got you beat. Because if you think coaching your kids are hard, coaching your siblings are even harder. And Zach is actually my brother. So the last 4 or 5 years has been pretty rough with us on the field in terms of brotherly love and arguments. So, no, Zach has been a great teammate, brother or not. He started as a quarterback for us 7 through 12, or 7 through 11, I'm sorry, jumped the gun. 7 through 11. And this last summer rolls around, and we're going on the 7-on-7 circuit, some team camps and some things, and some things weren't going our way and his way. And he and I have a good conversation. And I said, Zach, what do you think? We're going to have to do something here. And exact quote, man, I just want to win. So Zach made the transition into receiver and a secondary player for us. He is an all-state honorable mention. He's a 3-time all-conference, 2-time all-conference quarterback, 1-time all-conference athlete, per se. And so Zach's one of the best kids that I will probably ever have in my career in terms of being selfless and doing everything that the team needed him to do for us to be successful in the last 2 years. So I'm very grateful for both of these guys, and again, thank you guys for having us.
Okay, do we have any Kansas City Chiefs fans in here tonight? Yeah? Okay, so if I were you, one of the things I'd be wondering is, am I going to get home in time to see most of the football game? And the answer to that, probably yes. At the very least, the second half. So let's move right on along. By the way, at the end, we name a player of the year for both volleyball and for football, and we'll also have a coach of the year for volleyball and football at the end. Let's move to Kabul right now. And Kabul volleyball head coach Callie Bartholomew. Their players Cambry Woodard and Sophia Dotson. Have a hand for them, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Coach B. This is my second year coaching volleyball. I've got 2 juniors, Sophia Dotson, who's our outside hitter, and Cambry Woodward, who's our setter. Lots of things I could say about these girls. Last year we were 500, and this year we were able to beat the school record of 28 wins with 29 wins. We've only lost to 3 schools this year, Liberty, Willow, and Mountain Grove. We've had a great season. They're both made 1,000 clubs, meaning Sophia has made more than 1,000 kills this year, and our setter has made more than 1,000 assists. Just some stats I want to talk about. Sophia, she had 541 kills, all conference, all district, all state. And Cambry, she in her junior year alone had 902 assists. So that's a testament to what she does on the court. And she was also on all conference and all district. A couple things I want to say about these girls is last year they were sophomores, and they know what the team is capable of, and so they were true leaders on and off the field, or I say field, court, and they put the work in. We have done 2-a-days all summer long, and they never complain. And one thing I love as a coach, after every game, coaches come up to me like, oh my gosh, those 2 girls, they stand out, they're so great, they're so fun. And as a coach, that is what I'm most proud of. Stats are stats, but at the end of the day, I am trying to, morph these girls into people in our community, and they are doing an incredible job. So, and they're just juniors, so I'm hoping I'll be back here next year with them as seniors. So, Thank you for having us.
And by the way, there's probably people who would like to have come tonight but couldn't for whatever reason. You can see this banquet. The video of it will be available on ozarkradionews.com. Just click on the banner right there at the very top of the page. And so if there's family members that you would like to have a chance to see what happened here tonight, then you can find it all right there. Thanks again to Taylor Brubaugh Chevrolet Buick GMC, our sponsor for this event tonight. Now let's bring up Kabul football. And I was trying to think while I was sitting there, I think, this may be wrong, fact check me, but I think Kabul football is the only school in the South Central Association to ever win a state championship in football. Is that right? I should have just asked you. All right, Kabul football, Coach Glenn Koch, players Carson Lindsay and Carson Long.
Thanks, y'all. First of all, I want to thank our volleyball program for all they do in our school. Congratulate them on a great season and thank them for all their hard work. Thank you guys in the radio business for all you do for high school athletics, for all of our kids promoting them and everything you do in that aspect. Thank you for all you coaches, players, and parents for everything you guys do for high school sports. It makes it so great, makes it one of the greatest things that there is. Thank you for all the hard work you put in, all your dedication. I have with me tonight two of our players. This is Carson Lindsay right here, Carson Long in the blue. They are just the kind of players that I was very blessed to have in my first year at Kabul this year. They always put everything in for you. They give it all you got. They're not the kind of guys to say you can't do that or anything like that. They're the kind of guys that are going to give it all they got and that they're going to always be there. Carson's a senior, and he is, like I said, weights, 7-on-7, everything we have, they're always there. He is a kid that week 7, he came out of the game, he fractured his one of his bones in his wrist, wasn't it? And he taped it up, went back in the game. And then later on, we found out it was fractured, and he made sure he found a doctor that was going to approve him to be able to get back in. He didn't miss any playing time because of it or such. That's the kind of guy he is. Carson Long is a junior. I brought him because he is one of the guys that are part of the foundation that we are laying for our program, for this brotherhood, to be able to build and accomplish what we want to accomplish. He is, he will always give you everything he's got. He is a team guy. He just wants to win. He cares about his teammates, puts service over self, puts the team above himself. And we struggled with our offensive line this year. He would run the ball, take a beating, get up, and never give up. He never came out, never complained, never said why me, and never said anything derogatory to me, just gave it all he got. And like I said, these are two guys that are crucial in what we're laying to build the foundation for our program. I thank them, and I want to thank our parents for all they do for our program. You know, I always say that coaching in sports is a matter of coaches coaching the kids, players putting the work in, and parents getting their kids to games, getting their kids to the weight room, and sometimes you lift at 6 a.m., sometimes you lift at 5:30, and parents doing that work, so I appreciate everybody working together. Thank you for all you guys do.
You know, that's true. And for all you parents out there, man, this goes by quick. And you're going to look back and realize the best times of your lives as a mother and a father was when you were following your children around in the gyms, onto the football field, onto a baseball field. You know, there's just nothing better. I mean, it's so great. And of course, most kids, they come home, you go, well, how was practice today? Fine. That's about all you're going to get. But as the years go by, you know, it's amazing how much more they'll share with you. Up next, Houston Tigers. And we'll start with head coach Julia Sloan with volleyball, Kayla Wagner, and Morgan McKinney.
Wagner and Morgan McKinney with me tonight. Morgan is a senior. She was one of our setters this year. She was second team all conference, second team all district. She's just a great kid, hard worker in the weight room, very yes ma'am, very what do you want me to do? I'm going to do it no matter what. We're really going to miss her next year, just her presence, and she's just a bubbly kind of kid, so we're really going to miss her. My second girl that I brought is Miss Kayla Wagner. She's a junior. She was first team all conference, first team all district. She was one of our other setters, and then she also led her team in kills. She also played outside hitter. She's a very also pleaser, but she also is very humble about it. We had a conversation the other day of, hey coach, what about next year? What are we gonna do? And I said, well, I mean, obviously you're gonna have to be this place. And she said, well, what if you just sit me in easy games? I said, no, you're crazy. Like, she's very humble. She wants to do what anybody else. She wants to make her teammates better. And so she's just a great kid. Both of them are great kids. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Houston Tiger football, and head coach Eric Sloan. His two players, Jordan Arthur and Braden Richardson.
I'm going to just echo the other coaches, thanking you guys for making this event possible again this year. My two guys with me are Braden Richardson in the green, and then Jordan Arthur right here. Braden is our worker, works 2 full-time jobs, so if he's not at football practice or at a game or school, he's at work. That's just who he is. He's the hardest worker we got in the weight room, just puts in every amount of effort. He's our strongest kid, he's our fastest kid. We moved him to the defensive line this year. He had 19 tackles for loss, very disruptive. But probably the best thing I can say to him, because like I said, he was our fastest kid. The first time we played Ava, we absolutely got dominated at the line of scrimmage, and I was very frustrated. At the end of the night, I was down by the bus, and he wanted to have a one-on-one conversation. Just said, Coach, move me to the offensive line. And skilled kids do not ask to move to the offensive line. So we did that on Monday. We plugged him in at guard, and our offense took off. And that's just a testament to who he is. He's a team-first guy. He was a first-team all-conference defensive lineman for us. Jordan, he's been a 3-year starter on both sides of the ball. He's done a little bit of everything for us. He's been our slot receiver. He led us in receptions. Week 7, we had a running back go down, so we inserted him in the backfield. He became our leading rusher in the final 4 weeks. Then we put him at quarterback a little bit. He went 2 for 3 passing for 2 touchdowns. He was unanimous first-team all-conference wide receiver. He's going to have he's got some options, hopefully making a decision soon where he's going to play next year. So both great guys, going to leave huge holes for us to fill. Thank you, guys.
All right, next up, and I mentioned a little while ago how great the year has been for the 3 schools here from Arkansas, but we've had some good years north of the state line too. We were just talking about Houston; they won 20 plus this year, and this school won well over 20. We'll go to Mountain Grove now. The coach is Ashley Martin, players Rayleigh Stenzel and McKinney McGowan.
Thank you for having us. Every year I try to wing it, and then every time I'm done, I'm like, I should have just wrote something down. So this year I actually wrote something down, and I'm just going to read from what I worked on all week. So my first girl on the right is McKenna McGowan. She was a senior for us. She made a huge leap for us this year. She transitioned from a 3 rotation player as a junior and stepped into a very reliable 6-rotation libero for us. Last year as a junior, she was really struggling, mainly with her mental mindset and work ethic, and she was just really low in confidence. And she was able to come to me this summer. She stressed that she wanted the role, the responsibility of libero, and we just had a pretty good talk on what it was going to take. And she was going to have to, really dig deep and change some things about herself and confidence to fulfill that role, and she did that well. She demanded the best from her teammates. She finished her senior season with 314 digs, 28 aces, and she helped lead us to our conference title, our district title, and we made a run in the postseason. So I couldn't be more proud of the jump that she made this year and the leadership that she showed. So that's McKenna McGowan. I do want to add, she's a brilliant, brilliant mind. She's going to go to Mizzou, and she told me specifically what she's going to major in, but I knew I would butcher it. So she's just going to be a doctor, guys. She's going to be a doctor like her mom, okay? Master in nursing. She's brilliant. She's awesome. Awesome kid. My next girl is Rayleigh Stenzel. I don't know if you've heard the name before or not. If you're in the volleyball world, I'm sure you have, and I'm sure you're tickled to death to know she's graduating. So Rayleigh has been blowing the minds of everybody in the area. If you've gotten a chance to watch her, you know she's an alien. She is just the best teammate I could ever want for the rest of my kids, and she is the best leader quietly, but she is a put you on her shoulders, and she's gonna get the job done with no questions asked. She is a true competitor. She will do whatever. She offered to, for anybody that knows us, she offered to be my setter a couple years back because that's the role that we needed to fill. You know that that's not what we need her in, but she volunteered herself as that role. She had a historic season, and this is mainly why I wanted to write all of this down so I didn't leave anything out, because she deserves all the credit to be said tonight. So she had a historic season. This year she was able to break 9 Missouri records in all classes, class 1 through 5. She finished her career kills with 2,337. 2,337. She set the state record for match kills. She had 57 in one game, and that was in our outdoor game that we played against Winona on our football field. Her season kills, this year as a senior, she had 939. She led the entire nation with that number, and she still, to this day, has that record. So, across the United States, a lot of different states are still playing 2-3 weeks after we finish our state tournament in Missouri, and so we were kind of waiting and watching and refreshing that leaderboard, and I'm happy to say that she led the entire nation with that. Attack attempts per season, she had 1,597 this year. Attack attempts in career, she had 4,923, and that's a total of 360 sets in her 4-year career. Her attack attempts per set, she averaged 17, which is crazy. Her attack percentage in her career was .862, which is super high. Her attack percentage per season was .898%, which is high. And her kills per set, she averaged 9.9 throughout her 4-year career. So she ends her career with the following: kills 2,337, aces was 256. She finished with 1,217 digs, which is a huge testament. Not only is she a huge threat to us, to you guys on the offensive end, but she did her job well defensively and on the back row as well. And then her service receptions is pretty impressive. 1,231, and she only had 62 errors. So I think the most important thing about Rayleigh is the level of humbleness that comes with her. Not one time in 4 years did she ever ask me one single number, one single stat, not one time. She is a perfect example of what you want as an athlete and a leader in your program. I think the biggest thing, little story that I could tell about her and her humbleness is she was Athlete of the Week for KY3. She dreaded that interview all week long. And mid-interview, Daniel asked her, she was very close to breaking that state record. And she said, "Hey, Rayleigh, how do you feel about breaking this record? You're so close." And I'll never forget, she looked over at me and her eyes were like deer in headlights. She had no idea, never had she asked. And when that interview was over, she said, "Am I seriously that close?" She had no clue. So, couldn't be more proud of who she is and of who Mac is, and I love them like my own kids. And Rayleigh has accepted a scholarship to play beach volleyball at Missouri State next year. So I'm grateful she's staying home so that I can see my girl play. So those are my kids. Proud of them.
Okay, Mountain Grove football is up next, and Dan Swafford used to be the coach at Ava. Then he left for a while, and now he's ended up back in his hometown there in Mountain Grove coaching the Panthers. And I thought somewhere along the way tonight he's probably thinking, you know, I'm glad I'm coaching at Mountain Grove instead of Ava, because we used to go in alphabetical order, you know, and Dan used to be one of the first ones up here, and I know he wasn't too crazy about that. But he's back in the middle of the pack now. He's in the M's, and his Panthers are going to be represented tonight by Dustin Unger and also by Cooper Horning, the Mountain Grove Panthers, and Coach Dan Swafford.
Well, it is good to be back, and it is good not to be first. Love my time at Ava. What a wonderful place it was, and I'm glad to be home, back at home in Mountain Grove. The two guys I want to talk about today is Destin Unger, right here, and Cooper Horning. They are both outstanding young men. And let me start this with saying this. We were 7-4 this year. We were co-champs in our conference. Both these guys were all conference, and both of them were great leaders. But what I think needs to be said, and I thought what was special about them, was we started the season 0-3, okay? We say, hey, you know, we were playing some pretty good football teams, and you know, that type of thing. But man, it's hard. It's a hard life when you're going through that. And honestly, put some real pressure on these two. I needed them to really take us to a different level. And I'm just going to tell you, they took it on. You know, I'm really surprised they even talked to me today. I put it on them now, and they rose to the occasion. They got better every week. They played with great intentionality, having great fun. They were great teammates. I could rattle off a whole bunch of stats for these guys. But the fact of the matter is, that's not why they're here, all right? They're here because they're great young men, and they are program guys. They were in the weight room every day if it was open in the summer. They were great leaders. They showed how to deal with adversity at the beginning of the season, and then all of a sudden everything just turns around. And I just think that's a great testament. When you know, there's going to be times in life when that happens, and we talk a lot about that as a team. That, you know, when times are tough, that's when you got to really stand up. And these two guys did that for their team. They led their teammates into a great season. And so I want to just say thank you guys. It's hard to come in as the first year coach. You know, sometimes those seniors, they struggle with you, and they probably did struggle with me at times. But man, they led their team and took control of that situation and just they had no regrets when it was all over. So guys, thank you. Thank you guys for having us. We appreciate it. Thank you for all the parents. Because look, hey, none of us could do what we do without you guys. So thank you very much.
All right, we're going to go to the Liberty Eagles, Mountain View Birch Tree Liberty Eagles. And the volleyball, of course, is coached by Sherry Toon and her two players, Corey Lynn and Kaylee Wagner.
This morning at church, our sermon was about gratitude, and I was thinking on the way over here, which you guys confirmed it, I told my husband, I'm like, I think it's been 10 years this year that I've been able to come over here, and for those of you that have been here this long, or similar to that, it's just crazy to think about the athletes that I brought up through here, the relationships that I've created with people in this room, and it's just a very good day to be super thankful and full of gratitude for all of this. And parents, I know my husband tells me I'm crazy for doing what I do, but we couldn't do it without you. Where there's some positive and some negative, it's our discipline and our motivation to keep going. So we appreciate everything that you guys do. I have Kaylee Wagner on the right and Corey Lind on the left. These girls got to be part of a history-making year for us. We won our 5th consecutive district title. 4 of those were Class 2, and 1 of those was a Class 3 title. Corey was a 4-year member of that, and Wagner got to be a libero for 3 of those years, and they've been a huge part of the accomplishments and the history that we did make. Both team captains, great leaders on and off the court, studs in the classroom as well, and just pretty much anything they do. Corey is actually an employee of mine right now too, and she's been just amazing at that as well. So super proud of who they are and how hard they work in everything that they do. Wagner was our 3-year varsity libero. In her time here, she accumulated 1,111 digs. She is taking our Liberty Career spot for digs. The original one was 813. So she took that one out of the water this year and reached her 1,000th mark as well against the Salem Tigers. So she's going to hold that spot, and it's probably going to be pretty hard to beat that record, but she's just been an amazing athlete. She's going to hold several other spots in our record book too. I haven't got them all labeled out yet, but she's got some game highs, season highs, and she's just a wonderful libero. She has been the 2-time SEA Libero of the Year, first team. She will be academic all-state for all 3 seasons. Once that comes out, it will not come out until January. She's a 3-time all-district and, like I said, 2-time all-conference athlete. Wagner has not necessarily decided what her future is going to hold, but I know whatever she does, she's going to charge it full force, so I'm excited to see what happens. Corey is a 4-year varsity starter for us. The funny story is I was going to introduce her as a middle hitter, but she's played every position on the front row for me and moved back and forth. She started out as a right side, she moved to the outside, and now she had to finish this year in the middle, and not once has she ever complained about it. So she's able to play any area that we need her. She's great on the back row as well. She did have an injury in July. She broke her hand. She got officially released, the day of our first game. If you played us early in the season, you saw her using her left hand a whole lot. That's because she wouldn't set out. So the whole time that her right arm was wrapped up, she was hitting left-handed and doing everything in practice because there was no stopping her. So she is tough as nails on and off the court. She's had lots of adversity in her life, and she just has hit it head on, and you can just see that in everything that she does. She just prevails, and it's been a great life lesson for her. She's also going to see the Liberty record book. She's led us in kills, aces, and blocks on the year. She's going to be holding the number 2 spot in career kills and the number 2 spot in season kills. So a lot of other areas, I think she's going to have a career high in the top 5. Lots of areas for her to hold the record as well. She is going to be a 4-time academic all-state player, 3-time all-district and conference. She was the West Plains Zizzer Showdown All-Tournament team, and she was Class 2 All-State. I've enjoyed my time with both of these girls. It's just an understatement of saying how blessed I am for what they've done for Liberty Volleyball. And every year I stand up here, I'm just more and more thankful for the kids that I get to bring here and brag on. So thank you for having us.
All right, up next, Liberty Football head coach Jansen Ackland and his two players, Chris Shar and Gavin Reese.
All right, our two guys we have representing us tonight are Chris Shar and Gavin Reese, two seniors. These guys have been a part of 34 wins in their career to go with 2 SCA championships and 1 district championship, along with a runner-up finish this season. Both guys are multiple-time first-team all-conference, first-team all-district selections. This season, Cowboy Chris Shar there had 82 tackles from his safety position. Also had 5 interceptions to put his career total at 13, which put him at 5th all-time in Liberty history. Offensively this year, he had 62 catches for 742 yards and 7 total touchdowns. Gavin played quarterback for us this year, had over 2,700 yards of offense to go with 31 total touchdowns. Over his career, he's played just about every offensive position at some point since his freshman year. He ended his career with 5,749 combined yards and 66 total touchdowns. I'm going to kind of double up with what some of the coaches have said, and it's not really the stats, they really tell the story of how awesome these kids are and what they've meant to our program. They've really been a dream to coach, and they're 2 very unselfish kids that were always willing to do whatever we asked of them to put our team in position to win. And I really can't thank these guys enough for all their efforts and the positive impact they leave on Liberty football. Thank you guys for having us.
All right, let's move on to Thayer Volleyball. Head coach Sean Donahue and players for this year's Thayer team, Abby Bowers and Ashley Jackson. Let's have a hand for them.
Thank you. I'm a first-year coach. I really appreciate the honor that we have here tonight. We're here to honor Abby Bowers, our outside hitter, and Ashley Jackson, our libero. They're great teammates. They've been great to coach. Abby was first team all-conference and all-district this year. Ashley was honorable mention in district. It's been an honor to coach them. I'd like to thank the SCA coaches that have helped me kind of throughout the year here. I'd like to thank Ozark Marketing. I'd like to thank the parents and the community of Thayer. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Coach? Yep, gotta get your picture took, sorry. All right, let's move on to Thayer football, and head coach Briar Hancock. His players are Cooper Clark and Brandon Prince.
All right, this is Brandon Prince, and this is Cooper Clark here. First off, I want to say thank you guys for allowing us to be here and showcase our athletes. Both of these guys did an outstanding job of really just setting the standard for what we wanted to become as a football program. They've seen kind of the ups and downs of our program since my first year, which was 3 years ago. But every single year we've gotten a little bit better and a little bit better, and it's because of guys like this. This year these guys helped pave the way offensively for just under 4,000 total rushing yards. Brandon was a tight end and Cooper was a guard for us. So both of those guys did a great job up front for us. Defensively is where we really took a big leap. this year from last year, giving up 26 points per game the year before, and then this year just under 16 points. So that was a huge goal for us, was around that 14 points per game, and we almost hit that mark. This year we were short of our goals with conference and district championships, but these guys help pave the way for the years to come and really set the stage for our younger guys. Starting off with Brandon. Brandon, through the 3 years I got to coach him, played just about every position for us, whether that was quarterback, my first year, receiver, and we knew this year that to be successful and do what we wanted to do, that he was going to move to tight end, and he never complained, never, to me at least, never griped about it. He just grabbed his lunch pail and went to work, and that's just who that kid is. We didn't get the ball to him as much as what I'd hoped, or I'm sure what he had hoped, but when we did, he always seemed to make a big play. This year, Brandon was awarded second team all-conference tight end, and our team award was the receiver of the year. Stats, he had 2 rushes for over 60 yards, or 62 yards, and a touchdown. And with that one touchdown, he decided to become the pitchback on triple option at the tight end position, and it just so happened to get the football and score. So just made something out of nothing. And then receiving, had 8 receptions for 165 yards, which was 20.5 yards per reception, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Defensively, he played safety for us, had 41 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 3 interceptions. Again, I'm extremely proud of Brandon and how he handled moving positions just about every single year, and just kept coming to work and kept, just really setting the standard for our younger guys. Cooper over here wanted to, early on in the summer, kept talking about what he wanted to do for the program and this and that, and we kind of thought he was going to have a breakout year, and he really did just that. For us, Cooper did just about everything for us on all 3 phases of the game. He kicked, he punted, played offensive line, defensive line, linebacker sometimes when we needed him to. Just did everything for us, that coach would ask him, he would do it. Cooper has extremely good knack for understanding what opposing offenses wanted to do, and he just could dominate a game if teams wanted to overlook him. Cooper was awarded unanimous first team defensive line and SCA lineman of the year. Team awards, he was defensive lineman award and offensive lineman of the year award, and he also was the Bobcat award, and both these guys were captains. Some stats for Cooper. He had 80 total tackles, 20 tackles for loss, 5 forced fumbles, 8 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 1 for a touchdown, and 1 block kick. Lastly, I want to thank the parents, Mike and Jessica, and Chris and Stephanie, for allowing me to coach your guys these past few years. It's been a pleasure to see them grow and mature as young men. So thank you very much.
Hey, again, big thank you to Taylor Gruball Chevrolet GMC in West Plains, our corporate sponsor. Also, we've got several other sponsors as well. It's not possible without them. Same thing with our broadcast that we do. It's all driven by the sponsorship. So we appreciate them all. Up next is Willow Springs Fair. And we'll start with volleyball. Coach Christina Collins, her 2 players, Alicia Shanks and Sydney Stewart.
This year I brought Alicia. She is a senior this year for us. She played libero. Honestly, she could have played any spot and been fine, but I could not afford to let her off of our back row. one thing that I never had to worry about with Alicia is to tell her to go get a ball. Most of the time it was the opposite. I always had to tell her to not go get it, to be smart, you know, like, we need you in the game, to take care of yourself. Like I said, she is one of my hardest workers. She also is not just like really good in volleyball, she is really good in softball. She was first team softball, just all state. So she is an all-around athlete. She is going to go on and play softball somewhere. She's hoping, you know, somewhere local, but she's going to go on to college and play softball. So she is, you know, like I said, an all-around athlete. And like, you know, she could have played any spot for me. She got first team all district, first team all SCA this year. Sydney Stewart, she is my setter and outside hitter. She also plays 6 rotations for me. She led us in assists. She was second team all district and second team SCA. She's another one. She's like very, very smart. She's 3 years for me starting, but she's gonna go somewhere in life. Like, she's, you know, made athlete or academic athlete all 3 years. I'm sure it's gonna be 4 years, but she's very bright. She's probably my smartest volleyball player I have ever coached. She knows exactly where to go, when to do it. She can read both sides of the courts. You can definitely tell, like, she's thinking about everything, when to do, you know, who we definitely need the ball to. You know, like I said, you guys all understand as a setter, you know, if your setter is not vocal and runs the offense, then you're going to struggle, which, like I said, she knows when we need the ball in whose hand at the time, and if we need the kill, she has definitely pushed it out and got it to them. She actually was third leading the team in kills. Next year, I foresee her being either first or second. Our other 2 middles was that, but she's hungry. She wants to learn. Their work ethic is very, very good. They're always in weightlifting. Anytime I ask for them to be there, they are there. Team leaders. This is another like record for us. I have went all the way back to, I think it was 2008, 2005, somewhere in there on the records, and we had, our record this year was 24-8-3. Without them, there's no way we would have got that record this year, so I definitely want to thank them. Alicia, I know, is going to go and do softball, and she'll be great one more year with Sid, so I'm looking forward to it, so thank you.
Willow Springs Bear football, Ian Airy, and the 2 Willow Springs Bears football players, John Jones, Everett Smith.
This thing on? All right. So, yeah, I'm the. Yeah. So, I'm the shorter, pale, airy. The older one is short, mean, and Italian. That's my pops. They're not home. But first of all, I just want to thank these 2 right here. We got John and we got Everett, John Jones and Everett Smith. I just want to thank these guys. You know, as a senior, having a year where it's not so positive, but these 2, the reason why they're up here is because they're the type of guys that always looked at the positive situations and not the negatives. Okay, so at any time there was negative things going on, these two really stood out and made sure to look at things a positive way, be where their feet are, and focus on the process and not the outcome. Okay, and I thank both of you for really doing that and buying in with me. So I'll talk about Everett a little bit. Everett's parents, you raised an awesome young man. He's a cool cat and cool as a cucumber, you know. He played some corner, he played some safety, athletic kid, very vocal. Everybody knows, as a defensive coordinator, you know you got to have some vocal defensive backs, especially at safety. Corner, know what the situation's going on. My most vocal guy there on the back end, and he did really well coordinating back there. John Jones played some defensive line, O-line, second team all-conference O-lineman. Also, getting the opportunity to go to Culver Stockton, a little bit of college ball over there. So congrats to John for that. That is awesome, man. It's not easy to do, and I wish you the best of luck over there, John. But like I said, there's all these guys with all these stats, but the reason why these two up here is because they lead by example. They're good young men. They treat coaches with respect. They're coachable. They do as they're asked. And there's not much more you could ask of them. There's really not. That's why they're up here. Especially being a first-year coach. You know, it's weird being here because 6 years ago, I was right here. You know, I was. 6 years ago, I was right here. And so, just being a young coach, you always got kids testing you. Some may not be respectful. Some may be respectful just because you're a younger guy. But these two bought in with me. They were in with me since day one. And I thank the world of them for that. And before I get out of here, I just want to say thank you to all the parents for everything they do for the kids. Taking the weights every morning. I know it's hard. In them early times, you got to go to work and you got to get the kids up on time. I thank you for that. Thank you for being positive to your kids because I know at times I'm in practice and I'm tough on these guys. I am. I'm hot-headed at times. I want to win. I'm competitive, and so these guys get an earful from me, and it's good that they have support at home to get practice. Okay, so good up for these guys.
Okay, before we do West Plains, we want to say thank you again. Can we have a hand for Ozark Cafe for providing a great deal for us tonight? That's fantastic. Also, I don't see her in here, but Clancy Talbert kind of taking over kind of the ramrods of this thing, kind of getting it put together, and with James and Drew, who's doing the camera. I don't want to start mentioning people because I will leave somebody out. But thanks to everybody who put in a lot of time to put this banquet on tonight. Also, this is a very unique night because I've got to sit here with Paul Knight. Paul Knight and I have done scissor football the last several years together. And so we do a lot of traveling, a lot of talking. Paul loves football. Paul, he likes volleyball pretty well.
I have liked volleyball.
You have liked volleyball.
Yeah.
But
make sure I like volleyball.
But Paul and I had a lot of fun going to ball games and doing ball games together over the last couple of years. Let's go to West Plains volleyball right now. They had an outstanding year, and let's welcome to the podium our two players for this year for West Plains are Lucy Hafer and Libby Welch. The head coach is Haley Beasley. Let's have a hand for them, please.
Okay, I brought two juniors with me tonight. Like Harlan mentioned, we had a great year. We had 27 wins, which is the most since 1992, and both of these girls are a big reason for that. I'm going to start with Lucy over here on the right. Lucy earned a huge career milestone early in the season. She got 1,000 assists. She went on to get 1,080 assists in this season alone, which is the second most in all of Class 4. She also led our team in aces. She had 66 aces on the season. She was selected second team All Ozark Mountain Conference, first team All District, and she was also academic All Conference, and she will be academic All State. So good job, Lucy. Next is Libby. Libby is a defensive specialist for us. She is super quick and gritty and does a lot for us defensively. She had our best serving percentage this season with a 98.7%. Out of 388 serves, she missed 5, which is just a really great percentage. Libby was second team All District, also academic All Conference, and will be academic All State as well. I'm super proud of them and grateful that I get another year with them, and they represent our program really well. So, thank you.
And now the football side for West Plains High School, and the players are Alex Judd and Isaiah Jones. The head coach is Mr. Joel Wyatt.
Well, first off, I want to start by thanking Ozark Radio Network and Harlan and Gary and Taylor Grubel and Paul. Appreciate everything you guys do for promoting football and volleyball and honoring these young players. Also, before I forget, I want to wish the best of luck to Coach Watson and Coach Weber. Best of luck to you. We played those guys this summer at UCM, and really gritty, tough bunch of kids, so best of luck to those guys. The two guys that I have up here, Alex Judd and then Isaiah Jones on my far right. These two have meant a lot to our team and our success. District championship this year, and 2 years ago a district championship and a Final Four appearance as well. The two things, or one of the things that both of these guys do that doesn't show up on the stat sheet, in today's society, especially as a teammate, it's very hard, and I know you coaches are going to agree with me out there, it's very hard for your players to get on their teammates, especially if that teammate is one of their best friends. Don't want to ruffle any feathers, don't want to hurt their feelings. These two, they're not afraid to get in their teammates' rear. It doesn't matter if it's best friend or not, they're going to hold them accountable. And you don't see a lot of that, and I really appreciate these two for doing that, because sometimes that's a tough thing to do, is when you see your best friend mess up or he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and these guys are going to hold him accountable. Two tough kids here, mentally and physically. You got to drag them off the field. Both of them, we hope, are going to play college football. We're going to see them on Saturdays. They're still looking at the opportunities to further their career. I want to start with Alex here. He's led our team in tackles for 3 years, which is a very rare feat when you can say you led your team in tackles as a sophomore, as a junior, as a senior. He had 92 tackles sophomore year, then 133, and this year he had 158 tackles. So in the last 3 years, he's had 358 tackles. He was the first team all-conference guy this year. We've got our meeting on Wednesday. I'm sure he's going to get recognized there as an all-region linebacker. 2-year captain, which again, that's a rare thing as well, to be a captain your junior year. 2-year captain, leader of our defense. He's been an iron scissor, which is a big thing. He doesn't miss the weight room. He's a 300-pound bencher, 300-pound cleaner. Deep snapper on punts. You guys know out there how important that is, to have a good deep snapper on your punts and your kicking game. He's done that for 3 years. He's won our Lights Out weekly award winner many times this year. He's not afraid to put his face in the fan. He'll hit you. He's definitely he left a great legacy on our team, and it was just a pleasure for me to get to coach you. So thank you, Alex. You're a man. Isaiah Jones, 2-year starter at quarterback. He was a second team OMC guy this year, first team all-conference punter. And he started an outside linebacker for us. We really didn't want to roll him in the mix on defense and save him for offense, but he's just too valuable. And then we had some injuries, but he did a great job of setting the edge for us on defense. Everybody overlooks that part of his game because he's so good at quarterback, but I really think if he hadn't got hurt second quarter, we beat Warrenton He had a hip pointer. You guys know how those can be. He comes over to the side and says, "Coach, I can hand it off and I can throw it. I can't run." So we got to take him out on defense. And our QB run game is out, but just a huge part of our team. Like Alex, Isaiah is a 2-year captain, 3-year Iron Scissor guy. Last year we started the season out. He's 185 pounds. His senior year he comes in at 215. He just didn't miss any days in the weight room. Just dedicated himself to getting better. Best quarterback sneak guy I've ever coached. He had it down to a science. He was great at it. Could move the pile. It was really a weapon for us. Record setter, Isaiah Jones. He's the all-time career passing leader in West Plains High School. 4,355 yards passing. Most passing yards in a game. Last year against Kickapoo, he threw for 344 yards. So he's got 2 records. I think he would have shattered a couple more, but we had some drops this year, or those numbers would have really increased. But this year he threw for over 1,800 yards and 17 touchdowns. Last year he threw for 30 TDs and 2,400 yards. But both these guys have definitely left a legacy on West Plains football. Last thing I want to say about these guys, first of all, I do want to make mention of their parents. Thank you, Alan, Kim, Dion, Eric, for allowing me to coach your sons. They've been a joy to coach, and just for allowing me to coach them. And a lot of times it's tough love. They know that. They'll realize that even more down the line. But I love these guys, proud of all the work they've done. This is my 32nd year of coaching. And I think the biggest compliment I could give these guys is, if I were to start a team, I would say, give me this guy quarterback and give me this guy linebacker. That's how good they are. Okay, thank you.
Ava, you guys always go first, so it was accidentally, we shifted it around. But the Ava Bear volleyball, coached by Bailey Lowe, her 2 players, Paris Henry and Alexis Emmerich.
Miss Paris in the black here, and then Alexis to her right. They are both seniors. It has been a privilege. I have been able to watch them compete and grow to be these phenomenal young ladies ever since they were in middle school. And it's just been such a special time with them and all that they are. So first I'll start with Miss Alexis. Man, this girl does it all. She will come from a cross-country meet right into practice and then run a Bible study after. And she's just this phenomenal, well-rounded, incredible human being. She finally came out of her shell last year. And ever since then, I have no idea what's going to come out of her mouth. And it really keeps me and the whole team on my toes, and that's for sure. She's just such a fun component to her team, and athletically just has a competitive mindset, and she just consistently did what she was supposed to be doing. She was a 6th rotation player for us for the past 3 years, and anything that I asked her to do, she was just up there doing it the best of her ability, and we're just so thankful for that. She's always just a fun little ball of joy in our team, and we're really going to miss her. Next we have Paris. She was also a 6th rotation player for us. She, quite frankly, has played every role on my team imaginable over the past 3 years, and has always done so without hesitation. Never once questioned why. She just stepped up and did her job and did what was best for the team. She was selected all conference and all district for us this year. She also is just an all-around amazing girl and athlete. She's gonna leaving really big shoes to fill on our team. Great all-around player and great girl. I don't know, they just both led our team with the perfect teammate mindset and just constantly wanting others to make sure that they are enjoying themselves and having fun, but also holding them accountable for their actions. And then they are the epitome of work ethic. Every time we'd be in the gym, I would look to them, and that's what I wanted the rest of the team to be working like. And so very thankful for them and the past 4 years with them, and we're really going to miss them. Thank you.
And moving over to Ava Bear football and head coach Casey Merrifield and his two players Thomas Merrick and one everybody in the SEA whose opponent, he's a senior, he's graduating, Hunter Adams, heck of a ball player.
First off, I want to thank you guys for having us here. It means a lot. Next, thank you to all parents that are here, especially Hunter and Thomas's parents. Thank you guys for trusting me with your kids because they're special. Both these young men are great football players, but I promise you they're better young men than they are football players. And this is my 3rd year at Ava, and these two have made it so easy for me to be a head coach. I don't have to worry about nonsense because these two right here have taken care of it for the last 3 years. Incredible stat lines. I'm going to go over career numbers for both these guys. Thomas Merritt has played safety for us for the last 3 years. Career 146 tackles, 3 TFLs, 3 INTs, 11 pass defended, and 2 fumble recoveries, all from the safety position. Played a lot of running back for us as well, but the impact he had on the game defensively was incredible. He was our quarterback on defense, and always made sure everybody was lined up right, made life easy for us. Thomas is graduating early. He'll be graduating at Christmas, joining the Army and leaving us in March, and we're thankful for his service. Sure going to miss the guy. And then Hunter Adams, I think everybody in here has heard the name. He incredible career. Unfortunately, he's missed 11 games due to injury, but in his 4-year playing career, he's rushed for 3,814 yards, had 135 receiving yards, 67 total TDs, and once again, that's with missing 11 games in his career. Just incredible numbers, but once again, I got to reiterate, better young men than football players. And the community service projects that these guys show up to, holding their teammates accountable. You know, I got to tell the story on Hunter. He always came to the weight room last during the summer, and I was kind of surprised because until this year, he'd always been one of the first guys in there at 6:30 or 7 every morning. This year, he was showing up at 10 or 11. And it took me about 3 weeks to figure out that every day he was coming in looking at the list of his teammates who'd signed in. And if his teammates hadn't been there, they were getting a call from Hunter. And that's the kind of leader he is. Lastly, I want to thank you guys for all the work you put in to make me look like a decent coach and to improve the Ava Bear football program. Thank you guys. Thank you.
Okay, we are now, that takes care of all the schools. We're going to now, we have some individual stuff that we want to hand out for volleyball and for football. And we'll start with our volleyball player of the year, then we'll have our volleyball coach of the year, then we'll have the same thing for football. As far as the player of the year for volleyball, we've done this is the 10th year that we've done this, and a lot of times coaches will come up and they'll start reeling off statistics about players and you're sitting there and you're taking it all in, you're going, wow, that's really something. And while this player's coach was talking about her tonight, she got about halfway through and I thought, wait, can you repeat that again? Because it was just mind-blowing what she has accomplished in her career. I believe her teammate was our player of the year last year. Well, this year from Mountain Grove, our player of the year is Rayleigh Stenzel. And that big grin is worth $1 million. Now, our coach of the year Well, she has to come up here for a second year in a row, it looks like. She, in 2 seasons, her teams have won, I think, 55 matches. If it's in the ballpark, that's still pretty good. From Mountain Grove, our volleyball coach of the year, Ashley Martin. All right, football player of the year. We got a first-hand look at this young man as West Plains opened the season with his team, and I realized when it was all said and done, I don't care if I ever see him play again, because he was, boy, you talk about a pain in the neck, and he was good all year. You can't have a good football team without a good quarterback. This kid is so far above a good quarterback. Let's have a hand for our player of the year from Mountain Home, Arkansas for football, Jacob Chenoweth. Good luck, Jacob. And I'm not sad we don't see you next year. Coach?
They're at our place, though.
Yeah, but still.
I know.
He's
It's different being at home.
He's good. Okay, coaches of the, we have, when you can't make your mind up, you pick 2. I said when the first year we did this, I said we're never going to have a co-anything. It's going to be no, I don't know, this is about the 4th time we've done this. So our coaches of the year for football. I want to start with this one because we've watched this program over the past probably between 5 and 10 years really struggle to get footing, and it's hard. It is really hard to get up where you want to get, and then once you get there, well, that's a whole different matter. But it's really gratifying to see a team, a school, and a coach finally top that hill and finally get where they're wanting to go. Now they got to stay there. But you know, the climb for this team has been pretty steep. They won 9 times this year. Really good football team, and it really makes you feel good to see them have success. Our co-coach of the year in football from Highland High School, Sterling Stowers. Congratulations. Okay, and last, before I mention this, I want to say again, thanks to Taylor Grubauer Chevrolet, our corporate sponsor for this event. Thank you to all these parents from the time they've been big enough to pick a ball up to tonight. You're one of the main driving forces in their life, and appreciate all the time that you have sacrificed. And also to all the coaches and the schools for coming to be a part of this again. We thank you so much. We really do appreciate it. Remember, you can have relatives watch this on our website, ozarkradionews.com. Click on the banner at the top of the page and they can see it right there. Last is our, we're down to 1 trophy, aren't we? Our other coach of the year in football. This will come as a staggering surprise to no one because, as mentioned earlier, they are playing for a state championship next weekend. Let's have a big hand for Salem, Arkansas, Josh Watson. And I believe that we are done for the night. Thanks to all of you for coming this evening, and we'll look forward to maybe seeing you next year. Go Chiefs! Go Broncos! Broncos!
figured it would be in a, I don't want it because I have. Did the boys go out yet? When were they gonna go? That's a good idea. You want this one?